Wow, wow, wow. The 8.3 PDB recently released, and boy oh boy wasn't there some surprises in there. There's two things in this video that I'm going to talk about. The first is the new Moris, the second is the Skull Merchant. Let's start with the Moris. This is the big change. The killer may now kill the last survivor by performing a Mori. Improvements, apparently, have been made to the cinematic Mori camera to better highlight these end of trial kills. Full context, guys. Base kit, essentially, whenever there's one survivor left, you can Mori them. The Mori add-ons have changed. So, the Ebony Memento Mori will now give you 30,000 additional blood points for performing a Mori on the last survivor. Then it will go down to 20,000 and 10,000 depending on the value of the add-on. Let's just think about this for a second. Do you recall yourself or anybody else you may happen to watch play Dead by Daylight ask for this change? Because I certainly don't. I don't know where this has come from. It is literally out of nowhere. It's one of those changes nobody asked for. I don't understand why. I've tried really hard to think about this rationally and try and see some of the benefits to it, but I don't see it. But how about them games against Ghostface? You ever jumped in for a selfie when your teammate's getting Mori'd? You ever gone and teabagged your teammate while they're getting Mori'd? That's gone. You can't do any of that now. Last survivor only. And yes, I've seen people say, well, you can still use Rankle. Yeah, of course you can. But for how long? The same thing I'll say with Tombstone Myers. Yeah, you can still use him to do that. But for how long? It feels to me a lot like the devs are putting their hands in things that don't need to be meddled with. We didn't ask for this change, we didn't want this change. It's the same way with the hooks respawning. When you hook a survivor at the final stage, that hook would break. It now breaks for a limited amount of time and then respawns. Bear in mind I'm a killer main. I was against that change. It doesn't need to respawn. It shouldn't respawn. As a killer, you should adequately hook survivors on that last stage in different places. If there's not enough hooks left in close proximity, that's on you. And of course, the rhetoric is we're trying to balance the game, make it more fair. Fuck, man. How about just making the game fun? It's Dead by Daylight. We're not asking you to make it a sweaty, competitive game. This isn't fucking Call of Duty. Next thing I want to talk about, as mentioned, is the Skull Merchant. So these are the nerfs. Okay, if you're looking at those changes and scratching your head, don't worry, I can simplify it for you. The Skull Merchant is officially redundant. Now, this was actually by intention by the devs. So my understanding is next year they're reworking her entirely. So their attitude was, we're a bit busy right now, we can't fix her at the moment, so what we're going to do is we're going to make her really, really crap and unusable until we come to fix her next year. That's essentially what they've done. But doesn't that set a really stupid precedent? How about you just release killers to begin with that aren't completely broken and not have to spend years trying to fix the problem? Not to mention, there are people, rare though they may be, that main the Skull Merchant. They've invested a lot of hours into playing her, learning how to use her, and also spending money on cosmetics. You're giving those players the middle finger. Also, can we really trust them to rework her next year? Any of you remember Freddy's rework that was meant to come out last year, which then got postponed to this year? We're still waiting, and it's gone very, very quiet again. I'm really not sure, man. I don't quite know the direction they're trying to take this game in. I keep hearing we want to make it balanced, we want to make it fair. For goodness sake, this is a 1v4 survival horror game. And when you've got killers of different powers and different add-ons, survivors, variety of different perks, different add-ons, you can never have it be a 50-50 balanced game. And I don't want that either. Sometimes it's hilarious getting into a match and suddenly you've got a Tombstone Myers. Sometimes that's fun, that's funny. I don't want every match to be a sweat fest. But perhaps you think differently. Share your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, please leave a like anyway, it's a nice thing to do. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one.